I saw those dogs chasing butterflies. It made me realize there's something to always hold on to and some reason to always be happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned into Jaja's mic, home of the world's toughest leaders. It's such a pleasure for you to finally join us today. Leaders, this is my first special guest in New York, but not from New York. My boy Jimma, all the way from Australia, Melbourne to be exact, and he wants to speak to you. Today in the cafe, we had a phenomenal message about the little things that bring happiness. And Jimma, he expounded on this topic. We started talking about the tattoo on his arm, and we started talking about depression and things of that nature. And you all know my story. It's such a divine providence that I got an opportunity to be able to link up with such an incredible soul, incredible human being, and that's who I have featuring today. I just want my leaders, I want you all to open them with open arms, leave comments, support his work as well. But today he wants to speak to you. He's gonna pour into you. And I just ask that you open your mind and your perspective to what he's gonna tell you today regarding happiness. This is such an important message, my leaders. So without further ado, I introduce you to Jimma!
My name is Jimma from Australia, Melbourne, as Jaja said. I just want to put through a message that I actually told Jaja in the cafe, and it really stuck with him, and it's something that I hold close and it resonates with me a lot. I'm wearing this outfit because it's cool, but it's also cool outside, so yeah. Basically with me, I was a stand-up comedian for a while, photographer, and photographer now. A lot through my younger years, I always felt like there was something challenging to understand what makes me happy, and I always had this image in my head that if I got to a certain point at a certain time, that would make me happy, and when I got there, it wasn't what I wanted or wasn't what made me happy. So, as I was explaining to Jaja, I actually hit a point in my life that if I had these things, I would be happy, and I got there and I was miserable. So it actually a big moment in my life happened when I turned 25. I always had this image in my head that if I had this thing by the time I was 25, it was almost an excuse to be down in my younger years and then have a reason to be happy when I got older. So when I was younger, I thought that it was okay to be down. I thought that was okay to be down because I knew when I got to 25 and I had these things that would make me happy, but when I got there I was miserable. A big moment. Hang on.
You're doing good, man. You're doing good.
So a big moment that actually happened. Now, I won't do it. So a big moment that happened to me in my life was I deal with depression, and I always dealt with it in a shameful way and something that I didn't actually fully accept, and for that reason I hold a lot of it in, and that actually ended up causing a problem of making it worse and holding in those emotions. So I hit a certain age in my life that when I wasn't happy, I didn't know any way out, so I made a way out, which was a plan to end my life. I'm getting a bit emotional talking about it because it was an emotional moment. I plan to take my life at this point, and I go to this park and I'm sitting there bawling my eyes out, crying a lot, and this lady comes up to me, and I was rude to her because I didn't want any reason to get better. because I thought I'd already made that decision. And she tried to cheer me up, and when she tried to cheer me up, I told her to go, and she did. She was lovely and she tried to help, but she still showed some support and left. As she left, I was still really emotional. I looked up and she had 2 dogs with her, and her dogs were running around chasing butterflies. And although I'd been so down, and although I'd been so upset for so long and so decided on my decision was to end my life, there was that split moment that made me happy for a reason. After that, that night I attempted suicide, and there was a reason why I survived, and that reason was because I called the ambulance and they took me to the hospital. When they took me to the hospital, they asked me why I called the ambulance, and the only reason I could think of was there was a moment in my life that I felt so down, but I realised there was something so small that could cheer me up, and for that reason, when I saw those dogs chasing butterflies, it made me realise there's something to always hold on to and some reason to always be happy. So the next day after that, I got a tattoo on my arm, so no matter how down I am, I always know there's something that will cheer me up, no matter how small it is. So the point of this story isn't really about dogs chasing butterflies or even about me. It's nothing to do with that. The point of the story is no matter how down you are or no matter how defeated you are, you can always find those small things that will cheer you up, no matter how small they are, whether it's a belief in religion or a football team or a sports team of any kind, something that makes you feel happy, then that's all you need to motivate you to keep living. And from that day forward, because I know and because I'm always reminded of this tattoo, I'll never have to deal with not knowing that something can make me feel happy. Jaja also asked me and to tell you guys what the meaning of happiness is. And I guess that's something that I can't really answer, purely because there's not one answer for it. I find that the meaning of happiness is finding the small things, understanding what keeps you going and what keeps you alive. I thought there was nothing, but there was something, and it was small, and all it was some two doggos chasing butterflies, but that cheered me up. So I guess the thing is for you guys to figure out what that small thing is, and everyone's been happy at some point, no matter how small it is, so you got to figure out what that is and hold it and remind you that there is always something to make you feel happy. That's it.